Dr. J, I heard this term file before, and I'm not really sure what it means. I think it has to do with retirement. Can you help me out with this?
Well, it's actually a term I made up, so you might have just heard it in the past. I made it because when I was doing the research for the book on portraits of child-free wealth, I found out a whole bunch of child-free folks don't want to retire. So, Katie, is retirement your goal? If you had your dream job, would you work forever? What do you think?
I think if I had my dream job and it was flexible so that I could do like the other things I wanted to do in life, like maybe work part time and have flexibility, I'd probably really enjoy working. Like if I wasn't working, I would probably do volunteer work that looked very similar to what I get paid to do.
Did you just say if I wasn't working, I'd be working?
Kind of, yeah. I do it for free.
Yeah. So here's what's happening. The classic retirement, and we've got a separate video on FIRE and financial independence, retire early. FILE is financial independence, live early. Retirement used to be you'd work 25 years, you'd get the watch, you retire, be done. That's gone. I don't see anyone working at a company for 25 years unless it's like a government job or academic. Otherwise, forget it. Average tenure actually right now for positions somewhere around 2 to 3 years. So we're talking about short period of time. So if you think about retirement as an on-off switch for work, FILE is more of a dimmer switch. Let me get the right amount of work. And I'll give you an example. There's a gentleman in the book, his name is Ryan. He retired in his 40s and didn't love it. Yay, I hit the oh, now what? And what he decided instead was he started his own company. He works no more than 25 hours a week, never before 10 a.m., and never on Fridays. And to top it off, when I spoke to him, he was actually scheduling time to work from Palm Springs. Him, his wife, and his dog were all going to go there for a month and work. That's the FILE life. Okay. It's kind of like, I want to work, but I want to work on my terms, or I want to start my own business. Does that kind of sound like what you're looking for?
That is exactly what I meant. Yes.
All right. So what that means in that approach, you're saying, well, then retirement's not my goal. And if retirement's not your goal, it changes your financial plan. So a couple things on this. One, if you want to leave a whole lot of money to somebody at the end, you're probably not going to be able to live a FILE life. That's kind of part of it. Like you're going to spend your money. FILE is much more closer to die with zero as an approach of, I want to spend my money. I want to have the life I want. I want to invest in me. I want to invest in what brings me joy. And now if that sounds like me, and it kind of is, but it's your money. Like seriously, spend it on you. So now if retirement's not your goal, it's a question of, well, what can I do differently? So rather than saying, I'm going to work 20 years and be miserable at my job so that I can retire for 5 years, you say, you know what? What if I took a lower paying job now that I enjoyed? What if I went and opened that cupcake shop that I've always wanted to open? And now people, their brains start exploding because they're like, well, I always knew I always had to. This is that life script problem again. You got to go to school. You got to get a job. You got to work. You got to get married. You got to have kids. You got to get retired. We threw that script away. So let's do something different with our finances. So now, couple things on this. Most people don't actually know what they want to be when they grow up. It has nothing to do with age. As adults, we didn't pick our path. We just kind of ended up there. So one of the first questions is, well, what do you want to do when you grow up? And that's hard, especially since chances are it's not going to match what you're doing now. Like, well, but I got a degree in, yeah, but I want to run a florist. Well, then you should. You don't need that chemistry degree to do it, but are you going to be happier? And this is one of those questions that you probably need to work with somebody, and we have professionals who can help you work through it. Of what are my goals? Where do I want to go? What do I want to do? What do I want to be? Because we have a lot of head trash that just tells us what we have to do. Well, if I take less money now, then I won't be able to retire. Yeah, but retirement's not your goal, so who cares? And this is where it's like, oh, I need to think about this differently. What's interesting with this is if you talk to people out and about and say, hey, I'm going to live my life early now, they go, oh, so you're YOLOing it. I hate this YOLO thing. You only live once. No, that's not the point. It's about having a life you enjoy and being able to live that and having your money go towards that. In the book Die with Zero, they talk about spending your money for experiences. And you get to some point in your life where every extra dollar you make is going to whoever gets it at the end, not to you. So in the FILE lifestyle, you're saying, let me adjust my lifestyle now. And by the way, I've done this to people where They've had to cut back on their expenses, cut back on their housing, give up some toys, but they're happier so that I can have that throughout my life. I'm looking at it saying, cool, you got 40, 50, 60 years ahead of you. Why be miserable? Let's just find something to do. What do you think, Katie?
Well, I'm kind of a risk averse person, so I'm gonna ask you a question of why this would freak me out. So I don't know how long I'm gonna live or how long I'll be able to work. So let's say, I would like to just work. I like this flexible job I did. I've got my own business. Things are going great. What if at 70 there's something that happens where I can't do that anymore, but I don't have the money to get me to 80 because I didn't save for it?
Perfect. Good question. People that are living the final life, I usually want to do two things: have a plan for long term care, which usually is insurance in this case, because then I've taken that off. And then we put off taking Social Security until 70. Well, that happened to be the age Katie picked. I swear I did not tell her to pick that age. But, what happens now is your Social Security becomes your safety net to an extent. Now, if you're truly risk averse, what we do is we put a certain amount aside for the end of your life, whatever it is. And just like a retirement fund, leave it there, set it and forget it. But then we've checked that box. Now you can do whatever else you want. That's the freedom. Now, the other part of this is can't get stuck in the what if game. Well, what if, aliens come and the world goes to an end? Okay, sure. Warren Buffett says his biggest concern for his finances are nuclear war. And they asked him in his annual meeting, so how are you doing a plan for it? He goes, I'm not. He says, if nuclear war happens, you got much bigger problems in your portfolio. So don't get stuck in worrying about it. You build a little bit of a nest egg around it, build a little bit of security. Insurance is actually there for giving them that risk, and then live your life.
Does that mean I'm already doing this because I don't have a budget and I'm spending all my money going out to eat?
Well, no, that means you're being. So this is where we get into the adulting question. Okay, you're doing the YOLO. Okay, just woo-hoo!
But I am. Okay, this is different. I get it.
File is running a plan. File is running a plan. Okay, we have an intentionality around it. All right. Yeah, I might have a little extra to go out to eat, but the question is more of where should we spend our money? So a great example of this, you might actually get more return investing in you, your business idea, your going back to school, your life than something else. Well, if you're spending all that money on dining out, then you can't even invest it on you. So it's a balancing act. We'll still go eat, but you want to be sure, is it bringing you joy? And really the debate becomes, do I want to go out to eat or do I want to live this file lifestyle? That's a good debate.